Hi, welcome back. My name is Savannah, and this is the Sewlivi Dyes Yarn podcast. Yeah, not really a new location. I'm still in the same room that I normally film in, but as you can see, we are facing a different way. I can't see anything that is in screen this time, unfortunately, but we will make this work, hopefully. Hopefully you will see everything I'm trying to show you. So I don't even remember what day it was. Last weekend. It was probably, probably last Sunday after I filmed the last video. I just got this like wild hair to like do something with my space down here. I couldn't do a whole heck of a lot because a lot of the big things are attached to the walls. And I can't move the TV. I don't know if you can even see it, probably not, but the big TV, it's super heavy, so I can't move that on my own as well. But normally I sit facing that way in front of the TV. And in the past, this desk right here that I'm sitting at was actually here, so I'd face this way. But I got really tired of my family walking up behind me and scaring me, so I decided to change my desk. There's a little bit of wasted space over here, but now I can see if anybody is coming. So I have my sewing desk. Normally these were attached together, and my sewing desk was faced kind of this way, so I'd sit this way to sew. I know it's literally weird, but I just changed it that way. I haven't used the sewing machine since moving everything around, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I feel better sitting this way. I mean, it is a little messed up already just because I have been working here at my space, but it's really, really nice to have a clean working space. If you are a crafter as well, you know what it's like. Being a crafter is not a tidy hobby, I guess. You know, it's not a tidy living style, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. It can look beautiful and tidy for like a day or two, and then, you know, I start working. I got cakes of yarn, I got my needles out, I have you know, just things aren't getting put away right away, but you know what? It's okay. This is the lifestyle that I choose to have, and so anyways, so let's go ahead and dive in. I don't have that much time to record. I have lunch cooking right now. As you might be able to hear, laundry is going. It is Saturday, actually, Saturday, March 25th. I decided to film today because I have the time. Why not, right? And let's just go ahead and dive in. I don't think there's going to be much difference from today to tomorrow with my crafting. So, I mean, a little bit, probably, obviously, but nothing too crazy. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so my main focus this past week has been my test knit. It is the Vesper sweater by Devin of Knitting McPurley. Yeah, I was struggling a little bit with this, and not with knitting it, but with the math of the pattern. So I did a lot of I pulled out a notebook yesterday to do a lot of this, as I'll show you real quick. A lot of like just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So if you are a returning viewer, you would know that I'm using mini skeins for this project. So I'll show you what I have real quick. It's all scrunched on the needles because it's super wide. All right, so this is what I have. So all these are mini skeins. They're from Forbidden Fiber Co. It was her Bridgerton box that she did, I think, like 2 years ago. And so, you know, just little each mini skein was based off of a sibling from the Bridgerton series. So this one's actually Hyacinth. But anyway, so I'm doing this as a test knit. The yardage in the pattern felt very, very like extra generous for like the size that I was going to knit. So I was like, and I really wanted to use these mini skeins because I had enough to do the sweater, according to her photo. Well, come to find out, like the last couple of days, it was like yesterday and Friday, maybe a little bit on Thursday as well, I realized that in her pattern she wrote that she knit size 3, but she only had 6 stripes. Like, I'm calling the colored ones the stripes. I'm not counting the mohair stripes. So she had 6 stripes on hers. And so I emailed her and I was like, I'm just curious, it's saying for size 2 I need to have at least 7 stripes, but your sample that you're wearing in the photo has only 6 stripes and it says you knit the size 3. That's a little confusing. I'm like, am I counting my increases correctly? And she came back and responded and she was like, she made the mistake. She actually knit the size 2, and that she actually made a mistake in her sweater. I'm still confused a little bit on that, because again, I'm knitting the size 2, and according to the written instructions, you should have 7 colored stripes. You know, your non-mohair yarn should have 7 stripes for size 2. So I'm just like, that's another one. It's like the second pattern in a row I've used where the photo of the garment is not correct to what the written instructions are. That really bothers me because I really do rely on those photos in the pattern to help me along if there's something confusing, so that way I can look at those photos and be like, okay, so that really sucks there. It'd be great if she like remade her sweater so that it matched the instructions. What else? And then I was looking at the numbers. Like, I was debating on actually just doing the same mistake she did and only do 6 stripes. And so I was doing some of the math and it was just really confusing me. And so on and so forth. I mean, I got to the all right, so the math to before the sleeve split, that's what I said. And I don't want to give too much of the information away. Granted, this sweater will be free, like the pattern will be free once the test knitting is over, but at the same time, I don't really want to give too much away. All I know is that when I did the math from cast on down to, and I'm not doing 6 stripe, this is the size 2 math. The math for the number of increases is wrong, but when I still end up getting to the correct number of overall stitches, and I don't know how or why. And I even checked size 1 and size 3 as well, and the number of increases, the amount of increases, the numbers are incorrect according to the pattern. I wish I could give you more information, but again, I don't want to just blurt that out. So I was going to do just 6 stripes because I had picked my biggest, I had double mini skeins of this color right here, and so I was like, at the widest point, you know, I'm unsure if mini skeins are going to work. I weighed all my skeins before I started, and I found out that all these mini skeins are more than 25 grams. So they range from 25 to 30 grams ish. I didn't weigh the first 4 colors. This one is I think it was Anthony, Benedict, Daphne, and Eloise. I did not weigh those ones to see how much I actually used, which I'm kind of regretting that, but what I'm going to do is go back and weigh them after, and then just kind of like guess that they were about 25, 26 grams each, you know, go on the lower end, and then that way I can get my information. But I did weigh this one. So I started out with 28 grams of, this is Francesca, 28 grams to start with. After I only had 8.4 grams left, so I used about 19.6 grams for this stripe. That's stripe number 5. So for the next one, this is Colin. So I was going to use this for the biggest stripe, and I was basing it off her photo, which was stripe number 6, which was my mistake there, considering from size 2 you need 7 stripes. So I was this is what made me really nervous about the pattern being incorrect. The photo was incorrect, you know, all that stuff made me really nervous because I had 2 skeins of this. It was supposed to be the widest point. So yeah, Colin, the mini skein was 27.5 grams. After I was finished, I had 5.6 grams left, which means I used 21.9 grams. So if you do make this, want to make this once it comes out, your mini skeins, 20 gram mini skeins are not going to work for the bigger sizes. You're going to need like scrap yarn or hope your mini skeins are more than 20 grams. So there is that caveat. So just so you know, the next one, I have 2 colors left, and I really wanted to keep these. I mean, it didn't work anyways. I wanted to keep the siblings in order, but because I had 2 skeins of Colin, just in case I needed more than what I had to get him out of order. So technically he should have been here where Daphne is, and everything shifted down one. That's okay, it's fine, it works. So now one of these 2 need to be the biggest stripe, actually, because I am going to do the 7 stripes. I'm just going to do as the pattern says, just to double check, and I think I'm going to be okay since Hyacinth, this one has 29 grams, and this is Gregory, and he is 27.5 grams. So I think I'll be okay. So it came with this, the pattern comes with this little coloring sheet. Granted, it only has 6 stripes. Again, it should probably have a little bit more. I did both ways, with the yellow being next or the brown being next, and I think I want to put the brown next as the widest stripe. Yellow is not my color. I mean, I like yellow, but I don't love yellow, so I don't think I want this as my widest stripe down here. I don't think you can see that, but it will be down around my waist before you split for sleeves. So I don't think I want this one as the next color, even though it has 29 grams. I think I will be okay with 27.5 grams to do the last. I'm really hoping so. I'm really hoping so. So this is going to be the next color, and then I will split for sleeves. And then I'll do this one, which is just, there's one more row or one more stripe around your waist after you split for sleeves. And then I'm going to repeat the first 2 colors. Well, it'll be one of this on the sleeve, and then these 2 colors will go on the sleeve as well. So yes, it has been a little bit stressful these last couple of days. These rows are very long, very long. So I have another one of the mohair, and then I'm going to put in Gregory, the brown one, and then I split for sleeves. So for size 2, that means I'm going to have 712 stitches on the needles by the time I'm done with this stripe. It's a lot. I'm hoping for the best. Since these stripes are getting really long, it does take longer now to get there. But I'm hoping, since it is spring break for us now, that I can have this sweater. I think I might be able to have it finished before next weekend. So that'll be great. The test knit doesn't end until April 21st, but I think I'll be able to have it finished before then. I think that is everything I wanted to say about this sweater. It has definitely been confusing. Like, I even went through and double checked. I counted every increase I can see, because it's a knit front back increase. You can see the little purl bumps. So I was counting all of the increases to make sure I was doing it right. Like, I was actually counting, because You're supposed to, for size 2, you're supposed to repeat the increase 70 times, and I don't want to like use a row counter or tallies. Considering it's just a 2-round repeat, I figured, you know, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I can just count that way. So that's where all that stuff was. Anyways, so yes, I'm using an undyed mohair from Wool to Dye For, and the yarn is from Forbidden Fiber Co. I don't remember the base. I know it's a fingering. I can't remember what base it is though. It is a 4-ply. It's not a 2-ply. So yeah, that has been going on. And so when I've needed a break from that, I've been also working on, I'll bring this one over because it's here. This one has been staying down here. Yeah, I've been working on this. This is a hot mess. This is the Farnham sweater by Knit Pearl Girl. So last week I was there where the bunny is. I got the last bit finished on the back, and then I started doing the short rows for the sweater, or the shoulders, sorry. So this is the side I did first over here. There's so many ends. And I did not do a great job picking up. It should have been, I'm gonna have to duplicate stitch with the blue, the purple blue over it, this area to get rid of the white bit. I did not do a great job there. When I did this side, I did much better. Connecting those stripes. So I'm just finishing up the last little bit on this, and then I think it joins across, and I'll knit down for a bit until it matches this, and then I can join in the round. But I'm knitting this for the Well-Loved Knits Woolly Knit knit along. All you have to do is cast on any project using wool, and you can count towards that giveaway. That's part of that knit along. I'm sorry, I don't have that much information. I need to get up in a minute. But yeah, I'm using, oh gosh, what am I using? Holst Garn, super soft. I'm using the ecru color, and then the blue stripes is, it's actually like a, it's so dark blue, it's almost purple. It's called Prussian. So I actually had this wound up into a cake because it came off of a cone, and I was pulling from the middle and the outside to hold it double because I'm holding all the yarn double for this. And it was giving me so much trouble, so today I decided to just cake it, recake it, but hold each end double, so it's just pulling from the middle, both strands. Easy peasy. I'm gonna go ahead and go get my lunch real quick, and then I'll be back in a little bit. Okay. Sorry about that. Yes, I wanted to get my lunch, eat it real quick. So we are back. And I was in the middle of telling, there wasn't much else I wanted to say about this. It's just slow going because I'm not prioritizing this at all, but it is nice to work on this when I need a break from the test knit. And it's not the only one that I've been using as a break, but yeah. I'm really excited to have this though in my wardrobe. I really like the stripes. Again, it feels like stripes are the thing this year. Like everybody is doing stripes or something. Okay, last knitting project that I'm actually working on. So I decided to start working on this one again. This is the Georgia sweater by Colibri by Johanna. This one is going to be for my anniversary in June, so I need to get it done. I am on the body. The last time I didn't center the last time I showed you, I was right about where the tangerine is. So I had just split for the sleeves. I hadn't worked on it in a while. It is an open back shirt, I guess you could say. So there's quite a bit going on here. It has a beautiful bow that you can tie, whether you want to do it at the back or the front. So technically it's a reversible sweater. It's long sleeve, but I'm debating, I mean, I really do like the long sleeve, but I'm debating if I want to, since I'm wearing this in June. But it wouldn't be just June the only time I wear this, but I do plan to wear this in June for photos. So I'm not sure yet. Anyways, so I got some ways to go on the body still. And then there's 2 really long ties that you need to knit as well. So I figured I probably should be picking this up and working on it. I'm holding 2 strands of Surrey alpaca together for this. I did not hit gauge at all. I was really off. So I'm actually making the extra large size, even though typically I'm a medium size, but due to my gauge. Yeah. So that's what's, you know, and it's funny too, because I'm not using the exact same yarn that's called for, but I am using Surrey alpaca held double. Like, I believe the pattern she used knitting for olives, Surrey alpaca, whatever that base, whatever they call it, she's using that base. So but then again, when I did the Piet sweater, my gauge was off as well. So I think she has a really loose gauge. So yeah, not much to show you. It's all over this creamy white, off-white color, and it's just a lot of knitting and purling, like if you were to do a cardigan. There is this weird little bit, is this the, I'm trying to find which one I made a mistake. I made a mistake on one of these. Okay, so it was the other one. This one I made the mistake on. But you actually do a lot of increases after you split for the sleeves. So you have this like weird outshoot, but I think this is going to be helpful with the long ties, I think. I don't know. It's weird because you don't see a jut out like this from on the pictures. So I think it goes into the ties. Probably pulls down like this. On this side, I forgot to do one of the increases, which is it's a pretty big increase. It's a 5-stitch increase. So this side is not as nice, but I don't know if you can see. I have this little jut, so because I added those extra 5 in on the next increase, so I was like, it's not gonna matter because I do have to go around and do an applied I-cord after the fact, so I think that can hide it probably. And that's what will be around the shoulders. The neckband will be an I-cord. And yeah, this thing is super lightweight, super soft and fluffy. It's gonna be really nice to wear. But it's just a lot of boring knitting. The purling is really slow. I don't know if it's because it's on this shorter cable and maybe I should put it on a bigger cable so it's not so bunched up. But the purling felt really, really slow yesterday when I was working on it. And I also did the same thing where I cake up a skein of the yarn and then I take the cake and pull from the outside and the inside and then just re-cake it so it's all just coming from the inside. It makes it so much easier. So much easier. And then that way, I don't feel like I'm gonna have, you know, I can get through all of this and then cake up another skein. But if I don't need, if I was holding 2 separate skeins together, and I didn't need it all, then I don't feel like I'm wasting yarn, which I know I wouldn't be wasting, but then I'd have like 2 balls of scrap yarn left over kind of thing. I don't know if I'll actually have. I probably won't have any of this left over considering there's long sleeves and the rest of the body and the ties. So yeah, excuse me. That's all that I've been, that's empty. That's all I've been working on knitting wise. So yes, that was all the stuff that I've been knitting on. I do have one more thing. It was like, I'm planning. That's what this yarn is for. I did a mini swatch yesterday just to see I mean, yeah, this is extra mini. I'm not too thrilled with the fabric per se with the needles called for, but my gauge was bigger than what was called for with that needle, so I can't go down a needle size because then I'm going to have even more stitches per 4 inches. So I think I'm just going to leave it here and hope for the best. But let me pull it up so I can I want to knit the academic vest, the academic slip over, the academic vest, that's what it's called. I want to knit the academic vest by Skeins Knits. I really like it. I really like Jana's version from Kim and Jana. She's doing like an all over, her main color is navy blue, and then she's adding yarn into it. When I was actually pulling mini skeins for the Vesper sweater, I had another set of mini skeins that I got in like a little advent box from, who is this from? Oh my gosh. Les Garçons and Emilia and Philomene. They did a little collaboration. Again, I think it was 2 years ago. I think so. If not 2, it was 3. I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago. They did like a 13-day little advent box. And so you got 6 mini skeins, 1 full skein of yarn, a skein of mohair, a couple patterns, a little ornament, and a pin, I think. Unless that's, yeah, a pin. And it was all based off of Scotland. It was a Scotland themed. It was like Christmas in Scotland or something like that. Anyway, so I had these. Sorry, I can't hold them. I have these beautiful mini skeins. But I knew this wasn't going to be enough for the Vesper sweater. So I got the idea to use this for the academic vest. And then this was the yarn that came with it. This is all Emily and Philomene yarn. It's this one, the big one, is the Josephine base, which is, this colorway is called Mulled Wine. It is a fingering weight, 100% merino, 400 meters to 100 grams. So this is pushing it, just having 1 skein, so I figured I'd do a size down anyways. So because my gauge is already running the way it is, that means the sweater's going to be smaller, and I'm making a smaller size. I'm hoping it still fits, just snugly, like no ease at all. Even might be a little bit of negative ease. But okay, so the sweater calls for, the vest calls for 4 contrast colors. So I initially thought I would do like like these 4 colors, but then I was looking, I purchased the pattern yesterday, and I realized that you need a little bit more of the contrast colors 1 and 2. You need 112 yards, and these are your traditional 20-gram minis. So I was like, oh well, that's not gonna work because this says it's only 80 meters. According to this, you need 103 meters. So I was like, granted, I have not weighed these yet, so they could be more than 20 grams, but I figured I have 6. So what I could do is, the way that this pattern is written out, she has it color coded. She's like, for her chart, she's got a gray contrast, a red, a brown, and a pink. So I was like, okay, the red and the gray are the ones that use the most. So I went and looked in the chart to see where those hit, and there's extra little, like, little tiny, like, dividing motifs. And I figured the dividing ones could actually be different colors. They don't have to be red and gray, or whatever colors like that I would pick out of these. So actually I could use all of these in there. So that would help with the yardage situation. It's just, I haven't gotten any further into planning on what is going to be what colors. I'm pretty sure, so I think These ones are too close, like contrast wise, so I don't think that this one would be good on its own. I think it needs to be surrounded by other colors, since some of the motifs are bigger and they call for more colors. I'm gonna go down real quick. Yeah, some of the bigger motifs have colors surrounding it, so I'm thinking this one would be better with other colors surrounding it. Either way, I really like these colors with this. I don't know if you can see that all together. So I think I want to start that really soon. It is worked bottom up and it is steeked. So this will be my first time steeking ever, but I think that could be fun. And I was also thinking, since it is bottom up, this is going to be the bottom ribbing and then the main color in the body. If I do run out, I think I can figure out something different for the ribbing for the arms and the neckband, I think. Hopefully I can figure something out. But yeah, that is so that's not necessarily anything that was on my queue for the beginning of this year. I know I haven't really been working on things from my queue. I've knocked off one, let me think here. If I go into Ravelry real quick, I can double check. So from my queue, 2 things. I've only done 2 things so far from my queue for this year. But it's still using yarn from my stash. The minis don't count towards my stash because I didn't count this in my overall count at the beginning of the year. But this one was counted, so that'd be another skein out of my stash. Granted, these cones kind of count too, but I can't really count them yet because I counted them as one. I really should have broke them up and counted a cone of yarn. Here, let me show you the cone. This is one of the cones. I should have counted this as like 5, or at least weighed it, and then, because these are 500 grams, so that's technically like 5 skeins. But I only counted these as 1 when I did my big overall count, so I can't really count those. It's still coming out of stash though. The Vesper sweater, none of this can be counted because it's mostly mini skeins, and then I didn't count any of the undyed yarn that I have in stash. So, but it's okay. I mean, let me see how many. Where's my queue? I still have 13 things in my queue. Yep, I still have 13 things in my queue that I want to work on. It's just, yeah. And also, I know I have until the end of May for the Drea Renee Knits March to May knit along, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to participate. I have all these other things that I'm working on. I have 2 other things, whips, that I haven't touched in a while. So I'm not sure if I'm going to actually participate. I would like to. I do have her Birds of a Feather shawl on my queue for this year. So technically, getting it started would be okay because it's part of my queue, but I want to make this vest. I want to make this vest. So I think that is what I'm going to cast on next, relatively soon, probably this week sometime. We will see. We will see. Okay, that is it for knitting. I don't have any purchases yarn related. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next thing. Actually, this one is pretty exciting. I actually pulled out cross stitching last night. I finally bit the bullet. I was tired of working on the test knit, didn't really want to work on any of the other projects, so I pulled out some cross stitch. I've been watching it's Crafting Gaming Jamie on YouTube. She's a sweet lady. I love following her. She used to purchase yarn from me. She's I fangirl a little bit. I love watching her. So she's been she did 2 videos recently where she showed her Game of Thrones piece, which is different than the one I'm working on, and I'll show you, but she was working on her Game of Thrones piece, and she decided to film her progress switching from 1/1 full cross to 2/1 10 stitch. And I had thought about doing that on my Game of Thrones piece a while back before I stopped cross stitching, but I was worried that it wasn't going to look good. But every time she shows her Game of Thrones piece, it makes me want to stitch on mine. You know, just a little bit more, you know, want every time I see her show hers. And then she did those 2 videos and I'm like, that looks great. You can't tell a difference at all. And because I had also been thinking about just restarting mine, but I was like, oh, I would hate to have to restart it because I'm a couple pages in, and I'll show you in a minute, but I'm a couple pages in and I didn't really want to restart because this is a giant full coverage piece. So I decided to pull it out and start knitting, or not knitting, cross stitching it 2 over 1/10 stitch. And you know what? It looks just fine. And it felt really good to stitch again. The only problem is that my body, this shoulder hurts so bad trying to do it. Like, I'm a two-handed cross stitcher, so and I wasn't using my stand or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to pull it all out and work on it a little bit just to kind of get back into it before I actually pulled out my stand and my clamp for my tablet so that I could use Pattern Keeper, all that stuff. So yeah, that was weird, having a lot of pain in this shoulder for stitching. But I digress. Let me show you. This might have a glare and I won't be able to tell, so I'm sorry. But this is the piece that I am cross stitching. I started this, when did I start this? I started this in January 1st, 2018. So it's definitely been some years. So I found this piece of artwork on the internet. It's by someone just named Raymond W. I had Sarah Stitching Mommy convert it into a chart for me. And then I decided I was going to use it digitally, so I got another pattern with the same photo that works with my Pattern Keeper. So yeah, this is it. It's got I think it has almost every character. The only thing is you don't see the Night King, but I think he's on top of the dragon right there. But I think it has every character in here. I really like it. So pulled it out. I have a lot of parked threads because I wanted to see his so I started in this top corner here. I got the first page, the second page done across the top. Again, I wish I could see what you see. I hope you can. So first page I got done, second page I got done, and then I realized, why am I stitching all this? There's nothing up here. It's all background. So I decided to crop it and I'll just frame up to there. That way I can still get the dragon. But I wanted to see what the mountain's face looked like. So I went down here and started, so all these are just, I don't even know if they're parked in the right place. I think I might have just stuck them there. So I can probably cut them off at some point after I double check. These ones are legitimately parked. These ones will have to be full 1/1 because they are parked. But I went over here and I started in on the 310 because that's the most stitches in this entire thing. So I figured I'll do 310 in this page, which is in his hair, around in his beard, and then there's a whole bunch here. So I just came over here and did that last night. I don't think you can really tell a difference between the full X's and the, I hope you can see that. I know I didn't realize that possibly we got some backlight, but I hope you see it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I don't think I'm going to put this away. I think I will bring my, I have a Lowry stand. I think I'll bring that upstairs, put that in the stitching spot where there's a lamp over me so that I can see it better. That's my back. Beautiful mess that is full coverage. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I would love to get this page finished right here. Probably get all these parts put in so that they're done and over with. This could probably all get cut off right here because this is, again, I'm not stitching this part of the pattern. It's going to be huge, as you can see, massive. But yeah, I really would like to have this piece of artwork. I mean, yeah, I started in 2018. It should be closer to finished by now, but I stopped cross stitching for a while and it's finally kind of come back. I also need to like wrap all this stuff up so it's not in my way. Yeah, I enjoyed stitching on this, so I'm hoping that I can keep going on it for a little bit. So yeah, that is all. So the only purchase that came in the mail was sorry, I gotta reach it. What is this? This is not fiber related at all in any way. This is the Beetles nail tip and glue set. Beetles is a gel polish company, a gel nail polish company. I had this set in the past. This is it's called the Lucky Tarot nail polish kit. I bought this one a while ago because I really wanted to try gel polish. I had never actually tried it before, so I think I bought this, gosh, was it sometime last year? Sometime mid last year. These are the colors in this set. You get these little bottles, tiny bottles, and it comes with your base gel coat, the top coat matte, or top coat, your glossy top coat, matte top coat, base coat. So that's what you get. You get those. I think this is 20 colors. So I had this, and I just used, I had this little resin UV light from Craft Projects, but this works because this gel polish works with a UV or an LED lamp. So I already had that worked out. And these are really nice polishes. I actually enjoy using them, but then I kept getting ads. Sorry, I'm trying to get that in there. I kept getting ads for a different company, but they're gel tip extensions. And I was really curious. They looked lovely. I was super curious about them. But every time I went to go order their tips, their gel glue was always out of stock. Plus, it was quite expensive. So I decided to just do a little bit more research, and Beetles carries their own. So I was like, oh, okay. And it comes all in one, like a whole kit. You don't have to buy the nails and the glue separate. So I was like, cool. So I bought this directly from Beetles website, and I'm gonna say I don't recommend that exactly. You can buy this set on Amazon. After I ordered this, even with a $10 discount, I was still paying like $25 for this kit. When I looked it up on Amazon, it was only $20. Plus Amazon ships faster. This took a little while to ship. Amazon would ship faster. So I recommend going on to Amazon. That's where I got these from. So I did order another set that should be here today, which are all pastel because I needed summer spring colors. But this is, you get the nail glue, you get a nail lamp, nail tips, 240 pieces, and then a tool. And I got the short coffin. So this is the short coffin length. They're still quite long, even for the short. But I liked these ones because they were the tips were, and it's a full nail, not just tips, but they were already matte, like they were etched, so I didn't have to worry about doing any of that. And I figured etched would mean they'd last longer. So I did a whole bunch of research, like watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos of ladies applying these and how well they work. And it's funny too, because most of the videos are a year old. So when I opened my package, I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that they've actually added more sizes. The videos I watched only was like size, it was either 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, and everybody was saying the 10 size, which is the smallest, didn't fit a lot of people's pinkies. They were still too big. This one comes from 0 all the way up to an 11, I believe. And yeah, you get 15 sizes, and there's half sizes. You get 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, 11. and you get a whole bunch of tips. So these are the short coffins, but they're also etched already, so that's helpful. The other brand that I was looking at, I can't remember the name of it, but they do have even shorter length coffin, so I might order from them in the future and just use all this extra stuff with it. But for now, I have these. I don't need to order anything else. I did order some extra tools so that next time I apply another set, I can shorten them a little bit more. But anyways, I digress. It comes with a file, a 100 and a 180 file, so this was really nice to have. Comes with the glue. This is the, sorry, I touched the file and now there's, so you get the nail glue for nail tips. It's a soak off UV or LED cured gel. I don't know, so far so good. I put these on Thursday, it's now Saturday, so far so good. And the light, it comes with a cord, but you need to be able to plug it into a USB. I haven't USB plugged in for that lamp, so I just use that one. But this is the lamp that it comes with. And what's really nice is that you just plug it in and then you stick your hand or your finger in and it turns on. And as soon as you take your finger out, it turns off. So that was really nice. These nails were super, super easy to apply. You just put a little bit of, you prep your nails however you want to prep them. You put a little bit of the nail glue on the nail and then you hold it down and you stick your hand in the light. And you only have to hold it for like 5 seconds and then you can let go and let it finish curing on its own. I was very happy that this was super easy to apply. Granted, I did not do the best job. I have a little bit of glue leakage that I tried to clean up, but once it cures, it cures. So yeah, and then I used my polish. I didn't want to really use any of those colors because again, it's springtime, but that's all I had. So I did one of the colors, one of the nude colors, and then I did a white tip, but I really gooped on the white to make sure that it wasn't see-through, and then that left like a little, my nail's a little whoop whoop. It feels a little funny, so I mean, hey, it's my first time, right? You're not going to be perfect the first time, ever. You're never going to be perfect the first time, or even the second time probably, but yeah, this is something I've been wanting to do. I like getting my nails done, but I don't like going and getting them done, and I don't like paying for it, so this is really nice to be able to do this at home myself. Plus, I've never done nail or gel nail extensions. I've only ever done acrylic nails, and those always just ruin the crap out of my nails, so yeah. I know this isn't everybody's like thing, but I thought I'd show you, and I thoroughly enjoy this. I did my daughter's nails later that same evening because she really wanted hers done, and I made sure to clip them shorter, and she just picked one color. We didn't do tips, like colored tips or anything like that, and they turned out so cute. She really loves them. She like really loves them, and she's like, Mom, I'm amazed they're not popping off, because the only thing she's ever done in the past is press-on nails. So she's really excited that they're not just falling off, especially like in her sleep. She woke up and she's like, Mom, they're still on. I'm like, yeah, honey, they're not gonna pop off. So she really, really enjoys that. But again, I'm getting my pastel colors today, so I read that you can actually just paint right over gel polish and just seal them with the top coat. So probably gonna change the color later today to be something more spring-like. But yes, that is it. That is all I got to talk about. Again, it's spring break this week, so that's nice. I'm hoping to get the zipper put onto this skirt and maybe hem at least the satin layer. I don't know if I'm gonna hem the chiffon. I should, but I don't know if I'm going to. And then I have fabric to make a pair of pants. I'm hoping to do that this week as well. So other than that, I will let you go. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Bye.